We're here to do a job that nobody else even understands or can even fathom. The thought of doing welding 1,000 feet underwater, 500 feet underwater. It's just, how is that possible?
So I'm going to be spending some time with you. Tell me what's going on. Tell me what we're going to do.
Okay, it's inherently one of the most dangerous jobs in the world, but with proper training, we'll be able to show you how to basically stick two pieces of metal underwater.
Underwater welders repair ships, bridges, offshore oil platforms, and underwater pipelines. The job site, 1,000 feet underwater. Underwater welder. These are the hazards I'll be up against. Electrocution, drowning, shark attack, decompression syndrome. So what steps am I going to take to learn how to do this?
Okay, first of all, we'll do it in the tank, and we'll go over the underwater welding in there, and from there, we'll take you out in the harbor. I've had one of my clients call me up and said he's actually got a welding job out in the harbor that we need to get taken care of. So let's get rocking.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Get rocking. But before we could get to the good stuff, I was in for a rude awakening. You want to wake up first thing in the morning, go on a 1.5 mile swim in a harbor. Is that fuel?
That is fuel. Yes, it is.
We're swimming in fuel?
Gentlemen, it's 7 o'clock. Everybody ready to splash? Let's go.
All underwater welders must go through rigorous physical training so they can handle strong underwater currents often found at the job site.
Let's keep it together in a group. Kick.
Didn't realize that I was going with the current. I just thought this was easy. Well, we all kind of stayed in somewhat of a group going out. We got to the end of the pier to turn around, and I realized at that point it was like being in a river, a fast-flowing river. As soon as I turned around and tried to go back, I was kicking as hard as I could, pushing myself with my arms, but I still was going out, and I was not making it. After about 15 minutes of exhausting myself, I wasn't going to make it, period. And I think they sensed that.
Hold on.
A boat had to come with a rope and tow me back out of that strong current.
Stand by. Wait a minute, man.
If I had to be rescued during my morning swim around the harbor, what was it going to be like underwater? After my first scare in the water, it was time to meet Sergio for a lesson in welding on land, or what the pros call topside welding.
So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the placement of the rod first and show you exactly what we're going to want you to do. First of all, see if we get a spark once we hook it up to the stinger. And then once you do it, you want to drop back and forth like this, basically doing what we call a herringbone pattern.
1/10 of 1 amp can stop the human heart, and these welding rods pump out 180 amps of current.
Go ahead and give it a start.
Okay, what do I say?
Watch your eyes.
Okay, here we go. Watch your eyes.
I was probably 16 the last time I welded.
Slow it down, make it tighter.
My grandfather and I, we would repair things that he had.
There you go.
As soon as I started, it was very nostalgic for me. The smell of the metal
Okay, go ahead and pull it back.
brought back all these memories for me.
Okay.
And it was kind of like my grandfather was there. It was really cool.
Oh yeah, that's perfect, actually. That's exactly, look at that.
Holy cow.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah.
I can tell that he's had some experience, but I guess the real deal is when we get him to strike an arc underwater.
Morning, Kurt. My name's David.
How you doing?
I'll be your instructor for today.
Your body's not conditioned to feel comfortable breathing underwater, and you have to stay calm while you're there. It's scary.
First of all, you never take the hat off of the hook unless you've got it in your hand or it's on your hat, on your head. Never put it down on the deck. Never put it anywhere except back up here unless it's on your head.
Okay.
Got that?
Yeah.
This is gonna be your neck dam.
Okay.
And this is what you're gonna put on first before you hook up the hat and actually put it on your head.
Okay.
And then I can go over here and show you the comms.
All right. Yep.
What are you doing, Kurt? I told you you can't, you always got to put it on the hook. Remember?
Yep. It was.
Man, you're going to owe me some up-downs for that.
For that?
So you're going to have to give me at least 10 up-downs.
10?
10.
We can't hear you.
I will never put the hat on the deck.
What number are you on?
7.
I think somebody needed to remind these ex-Navy guys that I was just a civilian.
All right, let's get you hatted up. You breathing okay?
There's a lot of apprehension as far as just the breathing in and then breathing out, which is a key component to living.
Kurt, how you doing down there?
Doing pretty good.
Roger that.
Flips here. All right.
He's gonna be tired when he gets up. Make your way over to your project.
When you work with electricity on land, it travels through the air in a straight line. Underwater, though, it bows out in all directions about 6 feet from around the flame.
You ready? You got everything squared away?
You need to stay out of the kill zone, which is appropriately named because people have died. The kill zone exists in the space between your stinger, which is the negative charge, and the positive ground, which you attach to your project. If I get between there and it goes hot, I'm the conduit now between the two electrical charges, and that's what kills people.
Okay, I'm placing the stinger right on the plate. Ready to go hot.
Bad communication between the diver and the person regulating the electricity above can have deadly consequences. If the circuit should happen to go hot before the diver's ready, he might not be aware he's put himself in the kill zone.
Roger, making it hot.
When I was in the tank, I was getting shocked and buzzed and bit, I guess is what it's called when you're down there, which is not a comfortable situation to find yourself in.
It's cold.
Okay, I don't think I went that far down the rod.
Only a couple times did I get stung to the point where it hurt and it was painful. I could feel the electricity in my arms, like taking a battery to your tongue, but that was happening all over.
Go ahead and pick up all your pieces that you got down below, and then make your way over to the ladder to leave bottom, Roger.
I really have to use the restroom bad.
Don't pee in my tank.
Little late now, buddy. Little late now.
Being underwater is not the job. Welding or cutting is the job. Being underwater is their daily commute.
We've got a pretty heavy day in store for Kurt today. Well, this is Tom.
Hey, how you doing, bud? Kurt,
Nice
to meet you.
He's our contractor. And
Well, we've got a project down here. They had some heavy seas here in the harbor, and we lost a cylinder overboard.
we have a 10,000-pound cylinder that needs to have a flange attached to it. We're gonna actually have Kurt do the welding.
Well, the lifting pad's about here.
In this case, a flange is basically a handle that I need to weld to the cylinder. If I can do that, someone else will come along and use it to lift the container to the surface of the water.
At that point, knowing that my weld was responsible for pulling up a 5-ton object, I got kind of nervous.
Are you up for it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you up for this kind of work?
Yes.
There you go. Are you
Yes.
scared?
Yes.
That's good. That's a good answer. You ought to be scared. You ought to respect the seas.
Oh, I do. My expectations were step-by-step survive. When I finally got over to the edge to drop off into the water, I was nervous about the welding aspect of it, let alone the diving and getting to the project.
Hey, Kurt, how do you read? Comm check.
Top check, Roger, gotcha.
Roger that. Go ahead and make your way to the edge.
And then I started thinking about what was actually in the water. Sharks, alligators, I had no idea.
Okay, here we go.
All right. Ryan, give him 2 taps. Let's go.
He's gonna get in the water in one step. He's gonna go from maybe 1.5 foot visibility to negative visibility, like diving in a big, huge barrel of chocolate milk.
When I dropped off into the water, I kind of spun on the umbilical a little bit and didn't know which way was out.
Okay, I want you to turn and face your umbilical, and Alan's gonna be standing there, and you're gonna be finding that rope that goes out to that tank, Roger.
Thank God I had David on the comms, otherwise I'd have felt completely alone.
Probably wanna be on your hands and knees.
Because I dropped into a hole. I saw everything go black.
I'm in pitch black.
Next, things were going to be a lot different in the deep and dangerous waters of the open harbor.
Where's he at, Brian?
Don't have any idea what happened.
Het water jankt met tranen striemend uit het westen. Het water beukt, een land verschanst zich in zijn vesten. Het water vet, maar het mag nooit meer winnen. Bevecht hem en omhels hem, je vijand is je vriend. Hij kan zo...